Bai Lion arrives at the publicity office as academician Ma points out a critical flaw. The Yin family watches, and alliances in Jiangjing shift by the second. Leave a like and subscribe to walk this path. He was now the favored talent of Tianhuan, the anger in his agent's eyes flickering as phone call after phone call was made. Is Wan Qiushan an idiot? To drive Chu Yue out of the crew for a newcomer who's nothing? The news that Chu Yue would play the fifth male lead had already been released, and leaving the crew at this point would inevitably lead to criticism from haters. Tianhuan's PR team was not to be trifled with. Chu Yue's agent sneered and posted a message using Chu Yue's Weibo account, v Chu Yue. It's so hard to be a serious actor. That's why I left the Great Yang crew picture. One was a photo of Chu Yue taking cold medicine, the other of him holding a long spear. The comments below were all controlled by fans. My brother works so hard. Looking forward to my brother's new drama next summer break. Why did you leave the crew? Insider info. A certain 18th-tier actress who became the female lead right away doesn't respect her seniors. My brother was driven away by her finger heart. At Daeyoung official Weibo, our fans lives not lives. We will never watch Great Yang if you don't replace Yan Lu. I really don't know what kind of people like Yan Lu smile. Debut for 3 years with only one popular song. Has the crew gone mad to sideline our brother for her? Chu Yue had many friends in the circle, and everyone knew he was being pushed by Tianhuan. Quite a few people stood up for him. Meanwhile, at Xingguang Entertainment, Sister Xin was negotiating with the PR department. Sister Xin was also caught off guard, only learning now that the Great Yang crew had actually let Chu Yue go, and she was currently urging the PR department for an emergency response. Xingguang Entertainment was aware that Yan Lu was the female lead in Great Yang, and she had songs to release afterwards. Therefore, the PR's troll army was also working overtime through the night, but Xingguang's PR was no match for Chu Yue. The comments section was dominated by Chu Yue's troll army. On Manzai's side, she was between takes for a variety show. Her agent nearly laughed when looking at the trending searches, their mind calculating. I hope Chu Yue's side pushes harder. If Great Yang can't handle the pressure and changes the female lead, the role will be yours. Manzai appeared pensive. Could Yan Lu turn the tables? Do you think Tianhuan is all bark and no bite? Even Xingguang's PR can't suppress it, her agent scoffed. It was a showbiz tradition to step on some while elevating others. There was always more help in adding luster than in sending charcoal in snowy weather. Manzai's eyes sparkled, and she opened Weibo to like Chu Yue's post. Seeing a co-star like Manzai like the post, the heat of the whole affair was pushed to another climax. Sister Xin had not expected things to turn out this way. Great Yang was directly confronting Chu Yue, who in turn pointed the finger at Yan Lu. The only good news was that Great Yang had no intention of replacing Yan Lu. Otherwise, Xingguang Entertainment might have given up on her. Sister Xin, what do we do now? The team members were also anxious, unable to overpower Chu Yue's PR. And Yan Lu's popularity was no match for Chu Yue's. Let me think some more. Sister Xin pressed her forehead. The only thing to do now was to wait for the storm to calm and for the drama to air next year. As she was thinking, her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was Xingguang's CEO. She was startled and answered. On the other end was the CEO's friendly voice. Sister Xin, honestly, you should have told me earlier that Yan Lu was Zhangguang's person. It was the first time the CEO of Xingguang had called her Sister Xin. Sister Xin didn't catch on. What are you talking about? Weibo is blowing up and you're still keeping secrets, the CEO said with a laugh. Sister Xin hurriedly opened Weibo. She saw the top trending topic on social media had changed from Chu Yue to Zhangguang Group. V Zhangguang Group, acting is an art, not entertainment image. The picture showed Chu Yue and Yan Lu in the same frame, with Chu Yue on the left sitting on a false horse, and Yan Lu on the right holding a gun and riding a tall horse. The State Administration of Radio, Film, and Television retweeted and commented. What exactly is on the left side? The photo, once released, showcased a stark contrast that made it clear at a glance who had acting skills and who was just entertainment. And just like that, Weibo exploded. Many younger people may not understand the strength of Zhongguang Group, but everyone in the entertainment circle knows what the state administration of radio, film, and television is. A bunch of Chu Yue's fans, not daring to attack the administration, went crazy in the comments section under Zhongguang Group's post. Our brother is just suffering from a cold and can't ride a horse. Are you also trying to leech off Chu Yue's popularity? Tail. Wait, what age group are Chu Yue's fans? Ziyao Linbi. Ever heard of Zhongguang Securities, Zhongguang Bonds, Zhongguang Heavy Industries? Ever heard of Zhongguang Bank at least? Know about railways, highways? 1/3 of those are invested by Zhongguang. Your Tianhuan Entertainment's total assets combined aren't worth 1/10 of Zhongguang's annual bonds. Do you know what kind of unit Zhongguang is? Read more books. Don't just watch entertainment all day long. At least then you'd understand what Zhongguang Group does. The state administration of radio, film, and television took the lead in criticizing Chu Yue. A bunch of official media joined the fray, suggesting that it was high time the entertainment industry was cleaned up. Chu Yue and Tianhuan Entertainment started to panic, reaching out to Yan Lu and the Daeyang crew. They had stoked the flames too high, and now they found it not so easy to disengage. They were in the predicament of riding a tiger and unable to dismount. For the moment, topics related to what exactly is going on with the domestic entertainment remained highly popular. Compared to Chu Yue, Manzai was truly in deep waters. Why did you like Chu Yue's Weibo for no reason? Her agent scolded Manzai ferociously. It was okay before, but now Chu Yue is officially labeled as entertainment. Anything about him cannot be aired. Why the hell did you like his post? Not to mention the bigwigs from Starlight, Chu Yue, Manzai, and the rest, Sister Xin herself was blown away. No, Sister Xin thought about Bai Lion and then about Jiang Fulai. She always felt she understood them completely, yet the two kept expanding her worldview. Just who exactly are these two? At this moment, the untouchable giant in the entertainment industry, Tianhuan, seemed like a tiny shrimp. Sister Xin was utterly confused. Bai Lion didn't go online and was unaware of what was happening on Weibo. In the class group chat, Wang Qi was going berserk. Wang Qi, at everyone who understands, guys, I'm devastated. Pu Ziohen, ha 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 Chin Wen, are we still going hiking tomorrow? Wang Qi. At everyone, how could she be such a person? Su Guangaming, I just want to lie down. Pu Ziohen, at Chin when I'm in. Wang Qi, at everyone, why is no one paying attention to me? I'm so heartbroken, is there nobody to drink with me? Wang Qi, at everyone woo-woo Wang Qi. At everyone, a bunch of ungrateful jerks. Bai Lion, who was constantly listening to English readings, got continuously interrupted by the mentions. Who keeps mentioning me? Pu Ziohen, at Wang Qi Chin Wen, at Wang Qi Su Guangaming, at Wang Qi. The response formation was curiously unified. Bai Lion, see you when school starts. Wang Qi was about to kneel for this group of brats. Sis, I was wrong. Bai Lion continued to quietly listen to her listening practice, while outside, Jai Heng called out to Bai Lion, Alien, do you think this dress suits your classmate? The dress he made for Pu Ziohen. It was also a skirt outfit. The blouse was made of pale pink satin, and he put great care into this dress, with hidden patterns of butterflies, and the skirt's pink shade graduated from dark to light. The hem was decorated with overlapping patterns of white and goose yellow flowers, with a cascading, magnificent look. Several butterflies were either perched or with unfolded wings. Tranquil, yet lively. Jai Heng always believed that girls of this age should wear bright, vibrant colors. According to his taste, Bai Lion suited white, but red suited her even more. Vivid and dazzling. But regrettably, when it came to the clothes he left for Bai Lion, she only wore light-colored dresses. She had never worn red, pink, or goose yellow dresses. Afterward, Jai Heng seldom made bright-colored series of dresses for her. She will definitely like it. Bai Lion observed the dress in Jai Heng's hands closely and let out a light laugh. I'll take it to her in a bit. Jai Heng folded the dress, placed it in a plastic bag, and handed it to Bai Lion. Just then, Su En's video call came through. Uncle, Su En must have been busy, but as soon as he saw Jai Heng's face, he quickly greeted him. You guys should come over earlier. Mulan and I will show you around Jiangjing University, museums, and the like," he discussed with Jai Heng. Jai Heng, holding his smoking pipe, thought for a moment and did not refuse. All right. Su En had planned on asking anyway, but he had not anticipated Jai Heng's agreement. Up until now, he still wasn't sure if Jai Heng would attend his wedding to Jai Mulan. He couldn't figure out anyone in that family, from top to bottom. To his surprise, Jai Heng actually agreed. Su En was overjoyed. "Then get ready, I'll book the plane tickets and arrange the schedule." Bai Lion hadn't expected the special training camp to be in Jiangjing as well. Tang Ming and Ling Ziyao both went back with Jiang Fulai, but Bai Lion turned down Jiang Fulai. She chose to take the plane with Jai Heng, Jai Shaojun, and Shen Qing instead. When young Master Jiang heard this, he was also quite explosive. "This airport, it's so big." This was the first time Shen Qing took a flight, and Su En had bought them first-class tickets. After getting off the plane, stepping on the ground in Jiangjing, Shen Qing felt a sense of unreality, very dreamlike. However, Jai Heng looked calm, and Jai Shaojun was also composed. He frequently took students out for art exams. "Uncle Jai, you've arrived." Su En had been waiting at the boarding gate early. Seeing Bai Lion, his eyes lit up even more. "Alien, are you joining them?" "Not this time." Bai Lion took out her phone, powered it on, and waited for the signal. Jiang Fulai took a private plane and had arrived much earlier. "Are you accustomed to the flight journey?" Su En sounded a bit disappointed, but still led the way while asking. Jai Heng, holding his smoking pipe, nodded his head. Shen Qing felt quite uneasy. "It's my first time flying, I'm not used to it." Bai Lion was frank. The seat was a bit cramped. She herself was okay, but Jai Heng, who sat in the same row, was elder, and sitting for embroidery every day was already hard on the spine. At home, it was possible to stand up and move around, not so much on a plane. "Ah!" Su En was surprised. He turned to the butler. Was it possible that they did not purchase first class? Su En's butler, following behind him, cast a fleeting glance at Shen Qing before turning to Bai Lion with a smile. "Miss, you might not understand. Airplane seats are inherently small, and you were already in first class." His tone was mild, without any intent of mockery, just stating the facts. "Alien, it's just how planes are." Su En thought for a moment and then explained to Bai Lion. "When you go back, I'll switch airlines." Miss Bai, who had been on young Master Jiang's private plane, indeed didn't know that a normal plane seat is considered spacious. "No need," she replied lazily, staying put. "You go ahead, I'll wait for my classmate." Jai Heng and the others knew Bai Lion was going to the special training camp with Ling Ziyao and the rest, so they went ahead with Su En first. "All right then," Su En said with regret. The butler beside him glanced at Bai Lion. He was indifferent to whatever she was going to do. He didn't even know why Su En valued this Jai family member so much, putting aside his own affairs to personally receive them. Jiangjing Airport. In the VIP room, Bai Shaoqi was talking to Bai Kaiming. Bai Kaiming's attitude toward Bai Shaoqi was getting better by the day. Despite his busy schedule at the end of the year, he still took the time to send Bai Shaoqi to Jiangjing for orientation. Why hasn't Song Min arrived yet? Song Min was attending the special training camp, while Bai Shaoqi was temporarily not qualified. The joint exam results came out today. He probably boarded after checking them. Bai Shaoqi was very familiar with Song Min speaking of their results. Bai Kaiming's face showed even more pride. How did the term-end exams go? In recent times, there's been a lot of news about Jai Mulan in Baikang, as she is about to marry into a wealthy Jiangjing family. It would be impossible for Bai Kaiming not to feel a ripple in his heart over this. Fortunately, he had a pair of good children. Thinking of Bai Lion along with Bai Shaoqi and Bai Shaok, any dissatisfaction in Bai Kaiming faded away. "Just as before," Bai Shaoqi replied. "That means still within the top 3. Bai Kaiming was very reassured and then sighed with emotion. It's a pity to be in the same grade as Song Min. Otherwise, the Bai family might well have produced a second top scholar. Siblings both so acclaimed, how rare that would be. Bai Shaoqi took out her phone and opened the conversation with Song Min. "Bai Shaoqi, did you get your score?" Songmin hadn't replied yet, uncertain of the situation. Bai Shayaki casually looked up. Suddenly, she spotted a familiar figure outside the door. She was taken aback. "What's wrong?" Bai Kaiming noticed her expression. Bai Shayaki furrowed her brows. She felt that the silhouette looked a lot like Bai Lion. "Shayaki," Bai Kaiming stood up, speaking sternly. "The Yin family people have arrived." The Yin family, Song Min's mother's maiden home, residents of Jiangjing. They were picked up by Song Min's mother and her brother, the current director of the Yin family. Song Min's mother had arrived early both for Jai Mulan's wedding and to strengthen family relations, preparing for Song Min's entry into Jiangjing University next year. They exchanged greetings. Song Min's mother looked at Bai Shayaki. "What are you looking at?" "I feel like I saw Bai Lion." Bai Shayaki withdrew her gaze. "Bai Lion." The Yin director turned his head while chatting with Bai Kaiming. "Her," said Song Min's mother indifferently. "Ammon's ex-fiancé. Her mother is about to remarry in Jiangjing. Seeing her here isn't strange." Hearing what Song Min's mother said, the Yin director nodded faintly and didn't ask further. Clearly uninterested in Bai Lion, he just smiled at Bai Kaiming and said, "I've heard that your young master is interning in a lab at Jiangjing University." To them, personal strength was what mattered most. In the Bai family, Bai Shayak was thriving at Jiangjing University, and Bai Shayaki was favored by Dean Jian. Both were outstanding, which was why the Yin director personally came to pick them up from the airport. Last time, the Bai family didn't receive this kind of treatment. Every time the Baikeng joint examination scores are released, the entire education system is shaken. Xiangcheng First Middle School. The principal and the homeroom teachers were all gathered in the computer room. They hadn't been able to log into the system for 2 hours. What on earth is going on? The principal paced back and forth in the computer room, filled with anxiety. This had never happened before. Lu Lingxi, on the other hand, was calm. She sat at a desk on the side, methodically writing lesson plans and occasionally taking a sip of tea. "What's the rush?" she said. "What's the rush?" Of course, they were anxious about whether Ling Ziyao and Bai Lion could maintain their grades. During the last examination, Ling Ziyao was 31st. If he could hold that position and do the same in the college entrance exam, then Xiangcheng First Middle School had a hope of being upgraded to a provincial key school during the next evaluation. And Bai Lion, how many people were watching her chemistry score? How could they not be anxious? As the two were talking, suddenly a teacher sitting in front of the computer called out, it's here, their student numbers." "Check Ning Ziao's first, too." The person responsible for checking scores entered Ning Ziao's student number right away. They pressed the enter key. The computer still turned circles slowly. After a moment's lag, the scores appeared. Name: Ning Ziyao. Subject: score, rank Chinese 120, 71 mathematics 135, 3 English 127, 67 science comprehensive, 279, 1 total score, 661, 6. I must be seeing things. The teacher responsible for checking scores rubbed his eyes. "No way, damn. Is this really Ning Ziao's score? This is absurd, right? Ning Ziyao barely made it into the top 100 on his first monthly exam, and then 31st on the second. The teachers all thought that last performance was Ning Ziyao at his best, and were concerned if he would make it into the top 30 this time. Now, he's ranked 6th in Baikeng. First in science comprehensive across the province. That's just 2 months of time. This first place in science comprehensive is a bit too exaggerated, right? Lu Lingxi was also taken aback, truly shocked this time. The office erupted into a long discussion because of this result. 6th place, first in science comprehensive, what significance does that hold? Ning Ziyou's science score was even higher than Song Min's. After the excited discussion, they finally remembered Bai Lion. "Don't say anything." The school principal had already ordered banners. He smiled at the others and said, "With Ning Ziyou's huge improvement, Bai Lion will definitely enter the top 30, right?" Last time, Bai Lion ranked 97th overall. Ning Ziyao, 31st. This time Ning Ziyao ranked 6th, a terrifying leap. Originally, the school's staff were guessing if Bai Lion could join Ning Ziyao in the top 30, but now Ning Ziyao had produced an ace. They thought it wasn't impossible for Bai Lion to make it into the top 30. The teacher entered Bai Lion's student number. Everyone was relaxed. Some were predicting Bai Lion's scores. With Ning Ziyao before her, they thought the best she could do was a rank in the top 30. After all, her chemistry was a weak point. Haha, this Ning Ziyao is really good. I wonder how Tang Ming did. Right, check his as well later. Let's see. Hey, look, are the scores out? Their voices stopped abruptly. Because Bai Lion's scores were out and the principal of Xiangcheng First Middle School leaped to the computer, scrutinizing the scores from top to bottom. Name. Bai Lion subject. Score, rank Chinese, 150. 1 mathematics, 150. 1 English, 131. 17 science comprehensive. 261. 4 total score. 692. 1 first overall in Baikeng. The principal's mind buzzed. He felt that this moment would be recorded in the annals of Xiangcheng First Middle School's history because he vaguely saw the provincial top scholar was waving at him. The quiet office was almost motionless, apart from the occasional breeze that drifted through. The group of teachers who had been enthusiastically gathered around the computer were now silently staring at the text displayed on the screen. Overall first place. She's first. First, how did she test so well? A teacher gradually came to terms with the result. She surpassed Song Min. Is there really someone in Baikeng who can outperform Song Min? Last year's high school examination was already the talk of the town. In both Baikeng and Jiangjing, people were betting on the top 3 spots. And for the past couple of years, every senior student in Baikeng lived in the shadow of Song Min. Even among geniuses, there are barriers. Today, none of the teachers present in Xiangcheng thought anyone could score higher than Song Min. The principal, who had been holding his breath since seeing the scores, finally let out a long sigh of relief. The last time Bai Lion ranked 97th, everyone was shocked. Despite the shock, everyone could accept it back then because there were 3 or 4 students in the school who made it into the top 100 in the province, and Ning Ziyao was ranked 31st. At this term's finals, Ning Ziyao's performance was already shocking enough. Nobody expected the ultimate trump card to be Bai Lion. At this moment, not to mention the homeroom teachers who maintained a stable mood in their classes, even the usually composed and calm Lu Lingxi was stunned by this turn of events. Is she a monster or what? Who jumps from 450 points straight to 692 in one semester? Some homeroom teachers began to lose their composure. After all, when Bai Lion first came to the school, she had transferred from humanities to science, with 0 in biology and 0 in chemistry. She definitely hid her abilities at the start, one teacher analyzed. Otherwise, with her physics being so good, how could her biology and chemistry scores possibly be 0? With this reasoning, the other teachers found it easier to accept. After all, watching someone go from 0 to passing in chemistry in one semester was quite distressing for them. Did Bai Lion not study chemistry much before this? There were believers before, but now hardly anyone believes it. After some discussion among the teachers, they relaxed and were finally able to face the results head-on. Is she a genius on the same level as Song Min? Song Min's reputation as a genius was known by everyone at all the major high schools over the past 3 years. I don't know. Someone suddenly looked towards Lu Lingxi. Can Bai Lion maintain her lead? I wonder how much Song Min scored this time. Scoring first place once doesn't prove much. It's consistent dominance like Song Min's, who has been at the top for years, that shows stability. Song Min's name has already become an adjective. The fate is yet undecided. The college entrance exam determines the final outcome. Whether she can maintain it or not, congratulations in advance, principal. I think we've got the top 3 spots in the college entrance exam locked down. Many factors come into play in the college entrance exam. This test might have played to Bai Lion's strengths. With 1 term left, although Bai Lion scored first this time, most people still hold Song Min in awe. For other students to take first place from Song Min even once is quite a feat. Don't be so timid. The homeroom teacher of Class 8 pulled out his personal savings and slapped them on the table. "I bet Bai Lion will take the Baikeng Top Scholar title. Who wants to bet with me? I'll bet on Bai Lion too." The principal was actually daring in his own right, though he had no cash at hand. So he turned to Lu Lingxi to borrow money. "But the teaching resources in Baikeng are so much better than ours. Nobody knows if Song Min just made a mistake this time." Some teachers hesitated, placing their bets on Song Min. "Teacher Lu, lend me some money." The only person in the room who controlled the financial power, Lu Lingxi. Baikeng High School. The homeroom teacher of the international class also found it hard to believe the news. He looked at the two names on the list, Bai Lion, Ling Ziyao. Indeed, from the moment it was known that Song Min wasn't first, the school was abuzz. 692 points, one more than Song Min. The homeroom teacher turned to the principal. "With a perfect score in mathematics, and there's another student named Ling Ziyao who scored 279 in science, 5 points higher than Song Min. What exactly happened with Song Min this time?" The principal frowned. After pondering for a moment, the homeroom teacher, who hadn't yet seen the two students' papers, said, "Recently, Bai Shayaki has been practicing the piano a lot. He might have neglected his studies because of that. I discussed it with him this morning. He didn't perform well in the science subjects or mathematics. It's good that there was a mistake this time. Otherwise, without any pressure, he would stay in the same place." "Just what place is this Xiangcheng High School?" The principal, learning that both students came from the same school, also from Xiangcheng High School, said, "Such talented students, and they aren't from our school." A region on the fringes long since forgotten by the people of Baikeng. He lowered his head to carefully observe Bai Lion and Ning Zio's scores. After the results came out, the school checked the international class students' scores immediately. Song Min originally only wanted to know whether he was first in math, but to his surprise, not only was he not first in math, he was second in overall score too. Looking at the entire class, there was no first place either, which could only mean one possibility. The first place belonged to a student from another school. They didn't know the scores from other schools, but fortunately, his school could access and review the score reports. Song Min was anxious to get to Jiangjing and had told his homeroom teacher to inform him as soon as there was news about the first place. Finally, he received the results for first place. Song Min quickly opened his phone to check. Homeroom teacher. "Total score 692, a student from Xiangcheng No. 1 High School, 1 point higher than you." Song Min stared at the 692. It was only a 1-point difference, and he breathed a sigh of relief. Thankfully, it wasn't as suffocating as a perfect 150 in math. 1 point higher in total score this person is, Song Min began, furrowing his brows, from Xiangcheng No. 1 High School. Because of Bai Lion, he had a very negative impression of Xiangcheng. Xiangcheng No. 1 High School. Bai Kaiming, upon hearing it wasn't Bai Shayaki, was somewhat disappointed. Then, upon hearing the words Xiangcheng, his face turned cold. Mrs. Song's expression also changed. Off to the side, Mr. Yin was surprised, attempting to lighten the mood with a smile. "Just Xiangcheng No. 1 High School, why the long faces?" Bai Shayaki glanced at Bai Kaiming, whose face had darkened, but did not respond. It wasn't until they got into the car that Mrs. Song spoke in a low voice to explain to her brother. The incident with Bai Lion last time hadn't been pretty, and her voice grew colder as she mentioned Bai Lion. "Xiangcheng is where Song Min's former fiancé is currently living. You too shouldn't be arranging marriage matches so young." Knowing he had asked a foolish question, Mr. Yin shook his head. It would be best to let the matter rest here. No one present wanted to mention Bai Lion. Mr. Yin changed the subject. His voice was mild as he said, "I'll take you to the Yin family first. Shayaki still has to go to the music academy later, right? In a few days, there's a banquet, and I will take Shayaki with me. If Shayaki can catch the eye of that family." Upon saying this, Mr. Yin stopped speaking, not daring to go on. Bai Shayaki observed his demeanor, her eyes narrowing slightly. She had always been aware of Mrs. Song's extraordinary concern for her guzheng performance and her insistence on practicing the white-robed journey, but she had never known why. Don't put pressure on Shayaki, just perform as usual. Mrs. Song did not mention Song Min's results again to prevent him from feeling stressed, and added to Bai Shayaki, tomorrow when I have time, I'll take you to look at evening gowns. The car slowly entered Jiangjing. Mr. Yin took them directly to the Yin family's house, engaging in casual conversation with Bai Kaiming. The Yin family moved to Beihang district just a couple of years ago. Look, it's right up ahead. He pointed to a villa in front of them, a hint of pride in his words. This place was a bit far from Xinjiang district. Bai Shayaki looked but did not see a bustling area, however, she didn't inquire further. Bai Shayaki asked Bai Kaiming in a lowered voice, why is the Yin family living here? If they can't buy in Xinjiang district, what about Chang'an district? Bai Shayaki had visited Bai Shayak in Chang'an district. Jiangjing University and Jiangjing Music Academy are both located in Chang'an district. Shayaki, being able to move into Beihang district is already quite good. Bai Kaiming looked at Bai Shayaki, his eyes profound, having visited Jiangjing many times. For my Bai family to move into Jiangjing, we can't even settle in the outermost areas, let alone Beihang district. As for the Chang'an district you mentioned, at least it should be a place where your brother, a university president and an academician, could reside. Is that so? Bai Shayaki, who had lived in an ordinary residential area in Baikeng with her mother for over a decade and seldom visited Jiangjing, was hearing this kind of statement for the first time. In Baikeng, as long as you had money, you could buy a house anywhere. She was completely shocked that wealth couldn't guarantee you a home here. If Jiangjing University's president lives in Chang'an district, then who are the people in Xinjiang district? Meanwhile, Bai Shayaki finally received a message from her homeroom teacher about her own grades, science comprehensive, 251.9 total score, 653.7. After reading down the list, Bai Shayaki's face changed dramatically. She had always ranked in at least the top 5, if not the top 3. Even though she had devoted more time to the Guzheng recently, her total score shouldn't have fallen to 7th place. She pursed her lips and sent the scores to Bai Shayak to see. In the international class group chat, today was somewhat explosive. Most people's ranks had fallen compared to before, and the rumor du jour was that Song Min wasn't first, a dark horse out of nowhere. I heard they're coming to our class next semester. This news exploded throughout the international class. The Boyuan summer camp in the country has the highest value. Whether for high school or university students who manage to secure a spot at the Boyuan summer camp during the holidays can basically guarantee themselves a postgraduate recommendation. It's second only to the Ross summer camp, but the Boyuan only admits middle school students from within the country, with international students accepted only at the university level. Even so, there is still significant competition for the limited special training spots available to domestic high school students each year. Each session only accepts 30 to 40 students, almost 30 of whom are from the affiliated high schools of Jiangjing University, with the other 4 major cities only being allocated 4 or 5 spots each. Basically, studying here means you've already got 1 foot in Jiangjing University. Song Min is the only student from Baikeng High School who came to the Boyuan base. But why is Bai Lion also here? Bai Lion glanced at him and immediately shifted her gaze away, continuing to reply to Director Ma's message with methodical slowness. Bai Lion, Boyuan. Director Ma was at Jiangjing University not far away. Jai Heng wasn't sure what Boyuan was about, but Director Ma certainly did. Director Ma. Beside Bai Lion, Ning Ziyao was seated 1 spot away from her, and Tang Ming was right next to Ning Ziyao. Both felt an immense pressure as soon as they entered the classroom and were now buried in their notebooks, working on problems. 8 o'clock. The elderly professor with graying hair entered. He wore a gray, thick cotton-padded jacket and held only a set of 9 linked rings made of iron in his hand. You all know topology, right? This subject's prototype, the 9 linked rings, has a history of 5,000 years. I will give you 3 minutes to untie them. Reporting. A male student entered the classroom just on time, holding a thick book. The professor turned his head and then smiled warmly. Liang Wuyu, you're just in time, hand these out to everyone. Whoosh, the entire classroom fell silent. Almost everyone's eyes were on the boy. This was the first time the professor had shown warmth since he entered. After all, the professor himself was a genius. While most students in the classroom were quite smart, he saw so many intelligent people every year, and ordinary geniuses no longer caught his attention, unless it was a rare genius like Liang Wuyu. Bai Lion also looked up. The heating was on in the classroom. Liang Wuyu took off his long cotton coat, revealing a black knitted sweater, and he held a copy of algebraic number theory in one hand. His complexion was somewhat pale, his thick hair almost reached his eyebrows, and he stretched his hand to receive the 9 linked rings from the professor to distribute them. Liang Wuyu, isn't he in your class? How come you're all looking at him as if you've never seen him before? We've hardly ever seen him attend class in our grade. He spends most of his time in the lab, and guess what? He scored 739 on the final exam. That's insane. He could be compared to He-Wen now, right? And Shujie only scored 712. Only. The exam questions were set by the Physics Institute and were that difficult. I scored 669, ranked 5th. Honestly, in any other year, I could have been in the top 3. As soon as Liang Wuyu appeared, he set off a stir in the whole room. Compared to the pressure Song Min placed on the entire Baikeng, Liang Wuyu's presence at the affiliated high schools of Jiangjing was more of a shadow than pressure. Most people didn't even entertain the thought of comparing themselves to him. The gap was too great. Outside, Tang Ming handed out the 9 linked rings to Bai Lion and Ling Ziyao, speaking excitedly in a low voice. Damn, that's Liang Wuyu. The professor even knows him. But how do you solve this? He had never played with the 9 linked rings before. Relying on his intuition, he only made it to the 5th ring. To solve which ring, you have to make sure the preceding ring is on top. Bai Lion nonchalantly solved it, speaking slowly and deliberately. With just one sentence, Tang Ming understood. He looked down and managed to solve the remaining rings within 2 minutes. In the class, most students had already solved it, and then the professor started the presentation. This is just the beginning. You all have good spatial imagination. So, we use a point B to represent any spherical neighborhood in this RN, and now we move on to proving open sets. As the students were all high schoolers, the professor only taught the basics, which were both detailed and humorous. Bai Lion and her companions listened intently. After a morning of classes, the professor brought in some test papers from outside, and scanning the people here, he smiled and said, You all know that here at the Boyuan base, we have an initial assessment score for each person, based on their abilities. We distribute 3 sets of papers, A, B, and C. Let's combine them, and also from today on, everyone needs to prepare for an academic presentation. Liang Wuyu, paper A. Shujie, paper A. Ling Ziyao, role B. Song Min, role C. Ning Ziyao, role C. Bai Lion, role C. Tang Ming, role C. There were only a few with role A, not many with role B. The majority had role C. Bai Lion and her 2 companions had role C in their hands. Tang Ming looked down at the paper in his hand. Even role C is this difficult. I can't imagine what kind of deity is capable of doing role A. People gradually left the classroom. Tang Ming stood at the classroom door talking to several people. When Bai Lion stood up with her cotton-padded coat, she saw the only other girl with short hair besides her, standing 2 meters away from Tang Ming and the others, glancing up at Tang Ming and the others, then fiddling with her bag strap over and over again. She wore a white mask, glasses, and a hat, wanting to come forward but not daring to. Bai Lion put on her coat and pulled Tang Ming aside. You're blocking her way. The other boys also stepped aside. Seeing the way clear, the girl quickly lowered her head and walked by, not lifting her head as she went out the door. Luckily, Bai Lion had sharp ears and heard a very quiet thank you. Huh! Tang Ming only saw a blur, never catching a glimpse of the girl's face. Sis, Ningji, these are all people from the affiliated middle school. Tang Ming introduced these few boys to the 2 of them. Clearly they were from the same class. This is Ling Ziyao. He has role B. He's very impressive, an IMO gold medalist. Tang Ming finished with a heavy introduction of the leading boy. Ning Ziyao was amazed, staring at Ling Ziyao in surprise. A gold medalist could only get role B. Ling Ziyao wore black-rimmed glasses, appearing honest and steady, accustomed to such gazes. He simply said, "Nice to meet you. If you run into any problems during the academic speech later, you can ask me." That was a polite decline to joining Bai Lion and her group for the academic speech team. "Thank you," Bai Lion said thanks. They were thankful, surely, but asking was out of the question. Otherwise, young Master Jiang would remember them for 100 days. "Our sister is also very good at math," Tang Ming added. Upon hearing this, Ling Ziyao's group glanced at Tang Ming, neither agreeing nor disagreeing with the remark. They were different from Tang Ming. This wasn't their first time at Boyuan Base. They saw different students coming here from various places each time. Boyuan Base was a gathering place for geniuses. All these people were top students from their respective places, prideful at heart, but these top students from other places were quite different from them. After today's exam, Tang Ming would start to become introspective and wouldn't be so confident anymore. In the afternoon, there was a 3-hour academic exchange. Those who were here were all favored children of the heavens, and some of them had befriended everyone in the class. Bai Lion and other foreign students from the 4 major cities had fewer ads. After the academic exchange, Bai Lion didn't stay at the base. Jai Heng told her to go have dinner at Su En's place. Bai Lion packed her things and left. Song Min chased after her at this moment, his gaze complex. "Bai Lion, how come you're here?" He knew about Bai Lion's grades. She was almost clueless in science, vividly remembering when the homeroom teacher had moved her to the liberal arts class. Later, it seemed she had transferred to science, but back then Song Min didn't care much about Bai Lion. He hadn't paid attention. Recently, however, he heard from his mother that Jai Mulan had married into the Jiangjing family, possibly recommended by someone from Jiangjing, but what qualifications did she use to get in? He had many questions. Bai Lion, looking at her phone with her head down, barely lifted her head, her face pale and expression indolent and cold. "Excuse me." 2 words without emotion. The past Song Min was extremely impatient with Bai Lion, preferring to solve a couple more math problems rather than talk more words with her. But the current Bai Lion now felt utterly unfamiliar to him. Song Min subconsciously stepped aside. Bai Lion passed by him toward the Boyuan Base gate. At the gate, Jiang Fulai was waiting for her. While buckling her seatbelt, Bai Lion told Jiang Fulai the address. The Su family office building was in Yunxiao District. Yunxiao District is the economic center of Jiangjing, right across from Chang'an District, with Xinjiang District in between. It is a bit far to cross the districts, but it's not yet 5 o'clock, and the traffic isn't bad. "What did you send to academician, Ma?" Bai Lion leaned back in her seat with a relaxed posture, tilting her head to look at him. Jiang Fulai was quite unperturbed. "Nothing." The corners of his lips, slightly pursed, appeared extremely aloof. If it were someone else, they wouldn't dare to glance at him at this moment. The only connection Bai Lion had with academician Ma was through Jiang Fulai, which she didn't believe for a second. It wasn't until a 2-minute red light that she spoke up. "Open WeChat." Jiang Fulai. He silently took out his phone to show Bai Lion academician Ma. "Give me Jiang He too." Jiang Fulai, academician Ma. "It would be best if you come along." Jiang Fulai didn't pay him any attention. Academician Ma. "Bai Lion is also studying quantum mechanics, did you know?" Academician Ma. "Odd she actually isn't studying dark matter." Jiang Fulai. "Smile." Jiang Fulai. "Photo." Jiang Fulai. "I'm going to help her get clothes now, don't bother me." Academician Ma. Bai Lion, having read the entire conversation. Much to her relief, young Master Jiang was quite polite. She handed the phone back to Jiang Fulai, whose phoenix eyes swept indifferently over her before reaching out to take the phone, his right hand elegantly resting on the steering wheel, noble yet forbidding. "Although you've gone to study quantum mechanics, if you're unhappy, I won't send any more messages." "It's all right," Bai Lion replied. "No, send whatever you like." "Oh, Yunxiao District. The largest hotel there is Yunxiao Hotel, towering into the clouds. With over 70 floors, Su En had reserved the top-floor private room. At this moment, Shen Qing sat on the luxurious sofa in the private room, extremely restrained, not daring to shift even a bit. The butler represented the elderly lady, standing to one side with a smile, "Miss Shen, there is afternoon tea over there, Ling Ziyao's speciality. You might like to try some." He pointed to the cakes displayed on the left. Shen Qing eyed the cakes, attractive in appearance, and the various wines, uncertain of how to proceed. "I'm not hungry." She picked up a cup of tea. The butler withdrew his gaze. Jai Mulin glanced at Shen Qing and pursed her lips slightly, the smile at her mouth fading somewhat. Su En and Jai Heng stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, observing the lights slowly coming on outside. Jai Heng looked down at the bustling streets. Jiangjing is still so lively. It was almost in a different world compared to Xiancheng. "The lights aren't fully on yet," Su En pointed to the square below. "After 7 o'clock, this place turns into a city that never sleeps. Some live in a drunken dream, while others are in constant anxiety." Hearing what Jai Heng said, Su En couldn't help but give him an extra glance. He and Su's assistant had always known that Jai Heng was exceptional in his conversation, but he was still curious about the Jai family members. Downstairs. "Such nonsense!" Shujie had just got off work and ran into Su Weniao, her brow furrowed in disapproval. "Are these Jai family people really worth putting down your books for?" Su Weniao's efforts, particularly those of Jiyu, were well known to her. Especially Jiyu. During the new year when a bunch of people visited the Su family, she would stay in her room working on assignments, avoiding social interactions. Su Weniao, preparing for graduate school, also reduced the frequency of his home visits. The elderly lady was so afraid of disturbing his studies that she couldn't bear to bother him with even the smallest matters. "Auntie," Su Weniao spoke as amicably as ever. "After all, Auntie Jai is about to marry my dad." "Enough, don't give me that official talk." Su Shujie glanced at him, uninterested in the affairs of the Jai family. "I don't care about the rest, just don't let their matters interrupt your and Jiyu's studies." The Su family had grown to its current state, where the elderly lady paid great attention to the social status and background of potential spouses for Su En. She didn't approve of Su En's previous partner either. That woman left Su En eventually and swiftly married a foreigner. It was clear that Jai Mulin didn't meet the elderly lady's expectations, as she was quite critical of her. But Su En didn't care for her opinion at all, moving out to live with Jai Mulin, which made the elderly lady even more displeased with Jai Mulin. "Would you like to come up?" Su Weniao asked. Su Shujie waved her hand away. She had met Jai Mulin before, a bit arrogant, but lacking in shrewdness and experience. "I won't go." She had no expectations for the Jai family, just waved her hand dismissively, then lowered her voice. "I heard that the Chen family is moving into the pharmaceutical field. They've just entered the industry. There's a lot of opportunity." Su Weniao paused at the mention of the Chen family. Then he bid farewell to Su Shujie and went upstairs. Su Shujie got into her car and instructed the driver to head to the intersection ahead. A black honky car passed them by, with every vehicle around it seemingly willing to keep a 2-meter distance. In the back seat, Su Shujie was also shocked to see that car. How could that license plate be in Ling Ziyao district? Ling Ziyao Hotel. As the car pulled to a stop, the valet quickly went up and before Bai Lion even realized, opened the door for her. Bai Lion casually unbuckled her seatbelt, pondering that young Master Jiang's presence was becoming increasingly powerful, forcing other cars to keep their distance even through the vehicle's barriers. She was completely unaware of the significance of the car's body and license plate. "Thank you." She expressed her gratitude to the young man. The valet, seeing her beautiful face, thought it was rare for someone so attractive and polite to be in such a car, and hurriedly shook his head. Young Master Jiang silently watched her leave. He had no choice but to return to Boyuan Base to give a lecture to those two who he couldn't quite understand. Upstairs, in the private room, Jai Mulin saw how busy Su Weniao was and felt discontent that Bai Lion, who was yet to arrive, had kept them waiting. Especially since Jai Heng and Su En had been there since 4 o'clock. When Bai Lion finally arrived, Jai Mulin couldn't help but go to the door, her voice low. "Where have you been? Why make them wait so long? Any other day would do to see the sights of Jiangjing." "Just to see if you'd call the police." Bai Lion glanced at her. Then she bypassed Jai Mulin and walked inside. Jai Mulin. Standing by the French window, Jai Heng and Su En turned around and took their seats at the dining table upon hearing of Bai Lion's arrival. The two had no complaints about waiting for Bai Lion. They both knew she was dedicated to her studies, especially Su En, who thought she must have been at the library. "How come Xian didn't come?" Su En asked Su Weniao. Qi Xian had been introduced to Su Weniao by the old lady as his girlfriend quite early on. They had been in the same class since junior high, and the old lady liked her very much. "She didn't have time," answered Su Weniao, looking up. Su En nodded and refrained from asking further. The butler, who was just attending to their drinks, overheard and cast his gaze downward, knowing the old lady would never have let Miss Qi meet with these people. They talked among themselves, while Bai Lion did not join in. She was busy eating and looking at her phone, which displayed a message from He Wan, "Boss, thank you." Bai Lion, when He Wen, "Why don't you want to be the first author?" This was about He Wen's paper. He was good at physics, and his math was also excellent, but there were few in the lab who could match him. His paper delved a bit into quantum mechanics, which Ma Institute's director saw from the beginning. Further examples needed a particle wave model and the Boltzmann equation. Strong mathematical groundwork was necessary, so Jiang Fulai recommended Bai Lion to He Wen. After working together on the model, He Wen realized that Jiang Fulai's recommendation wasn't just any genius. She solved a long-standing issue for him, and he wanted to put Bai Lion as the first author. Bai Lion had asked Jiang Fulai the significance of being the first author and didn't feel she deserved much credit in He Wen's paper. So she let him list her as the second author, but He Wen didn't understand. "Bai Lion, shut up," she was blunt. "He Wen, okay?" After He Wen's reply, the small group chat between her, Tang Ming, and Ning Ziyao buzzed. Tang Ming. "Jiang bro is so moody today, Tang Ming. Sis, when are you coming back?" Tang Ming. "Crying, crying, crying, Bai Lion. Just be smart about it." At the side, while others were chatting casually, the butler glanced at Bai Lion, who was still engrossed in her phone. Jai Mulan noticed it too. She really wanted to say, "Don't play with your phone while eating." But she feared Bai Lion might retort with a forthright, "I will play in front of everyone." She dared not utter the words. "Do you want to visit Jiangjing University?" Su Weniao was seated next to Bai Lion and struck up a conversation. "I'm heading back to school in a bit. I can take you there." Upon hearing this, the butler cast a glance at Bai Lion. He had anticipated this and was not surprised, though his brow furrowed slightly. He and Su Shujie thought alike, feeling Su Weniao was wasting too much time on this family. Bai Lion placed her phone on the table. Upon hearing the words, she lowered her eyelashes and responded, "Not going for now." She said she was not going for the time being. Su Weniao was taken aback, then smiled. "All right, just let me know when you're going. You have my number." Bai Lion stayed at Yunxiao Hotel with Shen Qing, returning to Boyuan Base early the next morning, to take today's C paper. The difficulty of C paper was apparent, and Bai Lion had roughly figured it out during the 3 hours that afternoon. She took a pen and began to write down the process on a blank sheet of paper. She was downstairs early the next morning. She was an early riser, but Jiang Fulai was up even earlier. After Bai Lion got into the car, she remembered what Tang Ming had said last night about the sourness of Jiang Gongzi's demeanor and took another look at him. His expression was cool and detached, no different from before. Jiang Fulai slowly drove onto the main road and arched his eyebrows at her, as if asking why. "It's nothing." Bai Lion turned on the Bluetooth and connected to the car speakers. English essays began to play softly inside the car. When they reached Boyuan Base, it wasn't even 7 o'clock yet. Bai Lion went straight to the lecture theater. Although it was still early for the 8 o'clock start, most people were already there, making Bai Lion's arrival relatively late. This learning culture added pressure to the people from the other 4 major cities, except for Ning Ziyao and Tang Ming. When Bai Lion arrived, Ning Ziyao and Tang Ming gave up their seats inside and introduced her to the others. "These are students from the 4 major cities. This is Pei Qin. This is Song Min." Boyuan Base did not have a grading system, but there would be an academic presentation. Generally, groups with more than 5 members could research and produce something. Local students from Jiangjing naturally stayed together and did not team up with outsiders. Each year, people from the 4 major cities would automatically form a team, and this year was no different. Song Min sat calmly in front of Tang Ming, not speaking to Bai Lion. The two acted as if they did not know each other. "I am good at number theory." The boy with the buzz cut raised his hand. "I can handle the number theory part." "Pei Chin, my main research in the competition is on fluid physics," said Pei Chin sparingly. Everyone began to explain their specialties and their roles in the team. All these individuals had participated in similar activities before, so their arrangements were all quite rational. "Physics," said Ling Ziyao. "Mathematics," said Tang Ming. Last was the only female in their group. Bai Lion sat down, took off her coat, and said, "Everything." Normally, people had their own strengths, but Bai Lion was actually studying both mathematics and physics, so she just compromised. The others were taken aback. In fact, they had all heard a bit about one another. Pei Chin and Song Min were famous geniuses in their respective provinces and cities, each with their specialties. Only the three, including Bai Lion, were unknown to the others. Studying everything meant there was nothing she excelled in particularly. But the expectations for the only female in the group were not that high. Song Min just frowned and glanced at Bai Lion. "Hey!" the buzz-cut boy laughed. He was the lively sort, just like Tang Ming. "Do you guys know who's coming to lecture us today?" Bai Lion looked down and continued reading her book. The rest were very curious. "Who?" "Gao Jiachin, Dr. Gao," the boy said mysteriously. "My uncle by marriage told me it's a surname Gao." One had to have strong personal capabilities as well as a certain family background to be here, as not just anyone could be a recommender. Hence, they were privy to lots of information. Ling Ziyao and Tang Ming, unfamiliar with the Jiangjing scene, did not speak up but listened intently. "Dr. Gao?" Song Min looked up in astonishment, obviously recognizing the name. "Yes, the genius almost as famous as Senior He Wen." Pei Chin also spoke up. "You know about He Wen, right? The elite student of Jiangjing University. It's said that he's now in that lab." Their voices were filled with mystery. This made Ling Ziyao and Tang Ming curious as well. Xiancheng was almost cut off from the world, and their information was far less extensive than that of the others. Upon hearing the name He Wen, Bai Lion was taken aback, then lifted her head up. Though this female student appeared indolent, she gave off an air of being hard to approach. Now that she finally seemed interested, the buzz-cut boy proudly said, "That's right, He Wen from Zicheng, who got into Jiangjing University on his own merit." He talked on and on. Bai Lion was surprised. "Is he that impressive?" The buzz-cut boy. As the conversation continued, someone suddenly turned around from the front row and looked back at the group sarcastically. "What Zicheng? Senior He Wen is clearly from our affiliated high school. Also, stop appraising Senior He Wen. He's not someone you can casually comment on. What dreams are you few chasing? As for whether he's impressive, that's not for you to speculate. Wait until you become elite students of Jiangjing University and have your names engraved on the stone behind the statues of famous people. Then talk." Jiangjing University had a long history, with its founder Liang Ziyuan leading the way, followed by his disciple Bai Xiangjun, and then a succession of talented historical figures. Behind the statues was a large stone where only the names of elite students from Jiangjing University could be carved. This was the dream of everyone who got into Jiangjing University. But having one's name alongside the statues of historical figures was exceedingly difficult, and a new student might not even make it in a year. Most of the names engraved were offspring from scholarly families, with He Wen being the only one who rose from humble beginnings to great prominence, a textbook example. Those in academic research revered talents greatly. He Wen's motivational story won him many fans in the academic world. "Stop it!" Tang Ming signaled to the boy with the buzz cut and Bai Lion to cease their discussion. Bai Lion furrowed her brows, looking towards the person who had spoken. "Calm down!" Tang Ming's internal alarms went off, and he quickly grabbed Bai Lion's arm. Harmony, democracy, civility, rule of law. Bai Lion withdrew her gaze. Her phone on the table lit up. She glanced at it. "Headmaster Ma. Location. Headmaster Ma. What a coincidence I ended up at Boyuan Base while out shopping." Dr. Gao, does this mean that we are still unable to perform general computing and can only tackle specific problems? Where is quantum superiority manifested? Gao Jiaqin glanced at Liang Wuyu, gestured for him to sit down, and said, its principle isn't much different from the photoelectric effect. Dr. Gao, Ling Ziyao in the middle also wanted to ask a question. Without looking back at Ling Ziyao, Gao Jiaqin continued his lecture, which discouraged others from speaking up with their questions. Just then, someone knocked twice on the classroom's front door. Gao Jiaqin frowned and looked at the door with an unpleasant expression. Everyone's attention was drawn to it. The door opened. It was an old man wearing a black velvet hat, only the white hair at his temples visible. His dark eyes bore the weight of years, and his face, crisscrossed with deep lines, exuded authority. Academician Ma! Gao Jiaqin recognized the elder, his displeasure vanished, and he was very excited. Are you here to attend my lecture? Upon hearing Gao Jiaqin's words, the quiet classroom instantly erupted. As previously mentioned, the highest honor in the country is the title of academician. Having an academician means being a first-rate school, but even among first-rate schools, there are differences. Academician Ma was a standout among them, his achievements not even needing mention. Within the elite circle of academicians, he was top tier. Many coveted the chance to participate in his research projects, but could not. Present students like Song Min and Ning Ziyao, still unfamiliar with the scientific research community, did not know who academician Ma was, but they could infer his significance by observing Gao Jiaqin's attitude towards him, a scion from a well-known family. Academician Ma looked at Gao Jiaqin. No problem, you keep on lecturing. I'm just wandering over here for a casual visit. As he spoke, his gaze swept across the class. In the entire classroom, there were only 2 female students, one of which was Shujie in the middle, wearing glasses and dressed in her affiliated high school's uniform. Academician Ma turned his attention to the second girl. She too was looking at him. In her hand, she twirled a pen, while her left hand lazily rested on a printed document. No need to think, it must be her. Academician Ma took note of the empty seat next to Bai Lion and calmly sat down behind her, under the watchful eyes of everyone. Because of Academician Ma's presence, Gao Jiaqin lectured with renewed passion. The 4-hour-long lecture ended swiftly. Academician Ma left 5 minutes early. As soon as he left, Gao Jiaqin also hastily packed up his things and followed out. Our first academic seminar is in 6 days. If you have any questions, find me at my temporary office. Academician Ma, please wait for me. Once both their figures had disappeared, the classroom buzzed anew. It's Academician Ma. I actually saw him in person, exclaimed a student from the affiliated high school. Even my grandfather has never spoken to Academician Ma, and I was sitting in the same classroom with him. Ling Ziyao's face was flushed with excitement. Today, Dr. Gao lectured on quantum computing. Did Academician Ma come to listen to Dr. Gao's lecture? I didn't expect Dr. Gao to be held in such high esteem by Academician Ma. So, does that mean he is better than Senior He Wen? These were all top students from the affiliated high school, with inherently good conditions. From their first to the 3rd year, the school had organized many events at Jiangjing University. And, having relatives engaged in scientific research, they were quite familiar with the university's celebrities. In contrast, Ning Ziyao, Wang Su, and Song Min were less informed. At the moment, Wang Su was asking his aunt about Academician Ma while Tang Ming searched online. Students from the 4 major cities also burst into heated discussions. Bai Lion looked down at her lit-up phone. Academician Ma, publicity department. Bai Lion thought he had just wandered this way and came to see her by chance. Bai Jian, when she packed her things and went to the publicity department to find Academician Ma. Seeing that Bai Lion was leaving early, Wang Su quickly spoke up. Where are you going? Join us for lunch at the cafeteria, and we can discuss academics while we eat. I'm looking for someone. Bai Lion thought for a moment and then told them, just save me a spot. I'll be back very soon. Looking for someone? After Bai Lion left, Wang Su rubbed his head and looked to Ning Ziyao and Tang Ming. Do you guys know people here in Jiangjing? 2. Ning Ziyao bowed his head and started to pack up his things. Song Min watched Bai Lian's retreating figure. Knowing that Jai Mulin had married into Jiangjing, he assumed Bai Lian went to find someone from the Su family. The publicity department was near the entrance. By the time Bai Lian arrived, she had just passed Gao Jiachin on the main road. He was proud and aloof, looking down on even Liang Wuyu, fearing only the Liang family's clout. As for the others, he didn't even spare them a glance, so naturally, he did not recognize Bai Lian. Just as he brushed past her on the road, he noticed Bai Lian's extremely attractive face and took a second glance. Others often looked bulky in down jackets, but Bai Lian appeared unusually slender in her white cotton coat embroidered with delicate vines and cats, her tall figure, pale skin, and her face was beautiful without being coquettish, her gaze lazy. "Who is that?" Gao Jiachin turned his head to take another look. Gao Jiachin nodded. Bai Lian arrived at the publicity office just as a group of people also reached the school gate, almost at the same time as her. The publicity office. The person in charge and academician Ma were both there, the room was heated, and Bai Lian went to close the door without thinking. Academician Ma put down his teacup and raised his hand. "No need to close the door, come in and sit." Bai Lian didn't close the door. Seeing that the person academician Ma was waiting for was Bai Lian, the person in charge of the publicity office wasn't surprised either, having seen more surprising things before. "Student Bai, have some tea." He poured a hot cup of tea for Bai Lian. "Thank you." Bai Lian expressed her gratitude to him. The person in charge waved his hands in a hurry. "Don't mention it." He sat back down and observed Bai Lian discreetly, wondering what was so special about this student that he wasn't aware of, as both young Master Jiang and academician Ma seemed to treat her quite uniquely. "Why don't you study dark matter?" Academician Ma was forthright with Bai Lian, as they had been communicating on WeChat for several months. Both were academic elitists. The person in charge complained internally. Academician Ma was as direct as ever, and dark matter wasn't something just anyone could study. There were only 2 dark matter research institutes in the country, and it wasn't easy to get in. Even Dr. Gao couldn't. Bai Lian finished her tea. "I'm not interested." The person in charge. "What? Not interested?" The person in charge, who was blowing on his tea, almost burned himself. "That's right, quantum mechanics is more interesting." Academician Ma nodded, obviously very pleased, took a sip of his tea, looked up, saw the person in charge, and directly pointed out the issue with a smooth face. "You have some tea leaves there." He pointed at the corner of the person in charge's mouth. The person in charge hurriedly wiped his mouth, embarrassed in front of academician Ma. "I have a seminar on quantum chips in a couple of days." Academician Ma invited Bai Lian. "Do you have time to come? You'll find quantum mechanics even more interesting." "Which day?" Bai Lian was considering the time of Su En's wedding. Academician Ma was frank. "It was just decided. I need to discuss the timing with my team." "I'm occupied on the 19th of January, Bai Lian replied. "Then I'll schedule around that," Academician Ma quickly decided. Academician Ma was always busy, and it wasn't easy for him to spend the morning here. After finishing his conversation with Bai Lian, he picked up his coat, and they went out together. Bai Lian escorted Academician Ma to the main entrance. The publicity office was close to the main gate, the entrance to Boyuan Base. Lady Song, wrapped in her fur coat, smiled at Bai Shayaki beside her. "Ammon is too busy right now. When he's free, he'll show us around. I'll take you to try on the evening gown you'll be wearing." Bai Shayaki took a photo of the Boyuan Base on her phone. She had spent the whole previous day at the Jiangjing Music Academy and had finally found a chance today to come out with Lady Song to find Bai Shayak and Songmin. Boyuan Base, a sacred place in the hearts of students across the country, would make it a little easier for her to commit to a volunteer position or find a lab in the future. But Bai Shayaki had no connections to get a recommendation, and Bai Shayak was still a freshman. Just catching a glimpse of Boyuan Base was quite an achievement for Bai Shayaki. She looked down, opened her moments, and selected 4 photos. One of the gate of the music academy, one of herself practicing piano, one of the gate of Boyuan Base, and one of Song Min's silhouette with the caption, "Keep it up." Right after posting, a bunch of comments popped up. Jiangjing Music Academy, Boyuan Base. It's really just you guys, we mortals can only look up. The white figure in the bottom left corner of the third photo seems a bit familiar. Damn, haha, of course you guys would find it familiar. Doesn't it resemble the one who was driven out of your class? Class rep of second year. Now that you mention it, it does look like her. Damn, it's so unlucky. Ever since she left, our class's atmosphere has gotten much better. Comments like these were endless, and Bai Shayaki saw them too. She had the original picture, which was clearer than the one in the moments. She enlarged the original, and the figure in the picture wasn't very clear, only the side face was captured. But the person's temperament and appearance stood out so much that she was noticeable in a crowd. However, the difference from the dissolute Bai Lion in Bai Shayaki's memory was too great. She wasn't sure. Bai Shayaki turned back and looked in that direction, where she could still see that white figure that hadn't gone far. By her side, seeing her suddenly stop, Lady Song was somewhat surprised and turned to look as well. "Is that?" Lady Song was stunned. "Bai Lion." Lady Song had met Bai Lion once before in Xiangcheng. That time, Bai Lion had almost overturned the image Lady Song had in her mind, and now with just one glance she was sure this was the real Bai Lion. Her demeanor was almost no different from the last time she had seen her. "Is it really her?" Bai Shayaki squinted at the figure of Bai Lion. "What is she doing here?" Song Min was always silent and hadn't told them about Bai Lion being here. Lady Song wouldn't think that Bai Lion, previously rejected by the science class, would be at Boyuan Base for special training. She considered for a moment, "Don't worry about her." Though that's what she said, Lady Song shook her head internally. With her mind full of thoughts, she couldn't help but speculate that Bai Lion was here to find someone. Who could she know at Boyuan Base? It could only be Song Min. What Lady Song could think of, Bai Shayaki could naturally guess. She withdrew her gaze from Bai Lion. She wasn't surprised by Bai Lion's actions. After all, in the past, Bai Lion indeed used to chase after Song Min. Bai Shayaki bowed her head and unlocked her phone, replying to one person. "Looks like it's her." WTF, what's she doing there? What else could she be doing, haha? She's there for Song Min, of course. Cafeteria. Boyuan Base wasn't large, and with the winter and summer camps along with the training sessions underway, the students from college, high school, and middle school, as well as the staff, added up to several hundred people. The dining hall offered a variety of dishes, all for free, with long dining tables. Bai Lion picked up her tray and grabbed some food at random before looking for Ling Ziyao and Tang Ming, who had saved a spot for her in the middle. Song Min was sitting opposite Tang Ming when he received a text message and glanced up at Bai Lion. Bai Lion was eating while listening to the division of labor being explained by Wang Su. The phone by her plate lit up. "Dog friend. Image dog friend, is that you?" Bai Lion opened it and replied with one hand. "One dog friend, WTF. What are you doing looking for Song Min?" "Bai Lion. Bai Lion. I'm here to participate in a special training camp." Dog friend was a bit incredulous. "Did you secretly evolve without telling me?" Bai Lion. She put down her phone, not dwelling on this matter, as Ning Ziyao, Pei Chin, and Song Min were discussing particle model problems, a topic few others could keep up with. She listened quietly the whole time. After listening for a while, Bai Lion opened her vocabulary app and put on a single Bluetooth earbud. Ning Ziyao and Tang Ming were already immune to her multitasking habit. The others, seeing her listening to English, said nothing. After all, there were others at the table who also didn't understand, so Wang Su discussed with Tang Ming. "Like I said, leaving these things to those three is totally fine." Tang Ming glanced at Bai Lion and nodded in agreement. "Right. You say it's right, but why look at Bai Lion?" Wang Su was somewhat speechless. She looked so beautiful, there was nothing scary about her at all. Their group could tell, Bai Lion, Ning Ziyao, and Tang Ming not only knew each other but were also very tight-knit. Although Ning Ziyao was known to excel in physics, his math skills were not inferior to Song Min's, not to mention his physics. He was an absolute core member of their team. But in this core trio, Bai Lion was the central figure. "Have you finished the C paper?" Pei Chin, after finishing the academic discussion, asked about the C paper from the night before. Song Min shook his head. None of the others had finished either. They had realized the night before why they were given the C paper, to learn that even this level of difficulty was out of their reach. I have no idea what level of difficulty Liang Wuyu had with the paper. The students at the table, who were top scholars in their own schools, fell silent again. Too big a gap, they couldn't do the C paper, and yet someone could do the paper. At that moment, Wang Su noticed Ling Ziyao and Tang Ming glancing at Bai Lion again. Bai Lion lazily tapped the table with her hand. Wang Su. Before he could express his thoughts, Tang Ming spoke. "We have finished it." "What?" Wang Su exclaimed, standing up sharply. The others looked up, Song Min's gaze intently focusing on Tang Ming across the table. "Take a look." The homework was mentored by Jiang Fulai, so Tang Ming naturally would have consulted Bai Lion's opinion. He retrieved the previous night's answers from his backpack hanging on the back of his chair. Processes were filled on a fur papers. The others didn't speak, simply taking out their phones to take pictures of the answers, intending to head to a study room right after the meal to thoroughly go through them. Song Min naturally took a photo as well. With Tang Ming's answers on their minds, their eating pace quickened, hastily finishing their meals to head to the classroom to analyze the answers. "It's actually correct." An hour later, Pei Chin looked at Song Min in astonishment. How did he do it? Everyone at the affiliated middle school had engaged in academic exchanges more than once. Wang Su had treated them to many meals, seeking their experience and help. Bai Lion glanced at the time, also closed her laptop, and took her backpack to leave. As soon as she moved, Tang Ming and Ling Ziyao immediately stood up and left. Tang Ming greeted Pei Chin and the others. "Call us if you need anything." Teacher Jiang's small class began. With the 4 people leaving, the classroom was half empty. Bai Shayaki watched Bai Lion and the other 2 leave and couldn't help but wonder, where are they going? After studying and researching for so long, Pei Chin and the others also massaged their shoulders, preparing to relax. They seem to go for tutoring every day. They have teachers outside the school. Tang Ming had mentioned this point before. Bai Shayaki didn't live at Boyuan Base, and it was time for her to head back too. Song Min escorted her out of the school gate. "You're saying she's responsible for writing?" Bai Shayaki heard Song Min's response and narrowed her eyes slightly. Then shaking her head, she almost guessed that writing was the simplest task, not to mention Wang Su was also writing. She stayed there for 2 hours. Bai Lion didn't utter a single important word, and she typed very slowly during the composition. Wang Su could type 50 or 60 words a minute, Bai Lion only about 10. Academic speeches are very important to you. You must carefully review whatever she writes. I saw she hadn't written much in 2 hours. Bai Shayaki reminded Song Min. Song Min hadn't observed Bai Lion typing, but upon hearing Bai Shayaki, he frowned. In another classroom, Jiang Fulai stood beside the chair, looking down at Bai Lion typing. Bai Lion was just getting familiar with the keyboard, typing a bit faster than initially, but still slower than the normal speed. Jiang Fulai's computer was self-assembled. To avoid the issue of his code-writing speed surpassing the processing speed, his computer operated very quickly. At this moment, he watched Bai Lion typing letter by letter. The black ultra-thin computer seemed a bit wronged. Bai Lion lazily jabbed at the keyboard with 2 fingers. Seeing Jiang Fulai's gaze, she looked up with an expressionless face. "Do you need something?" "No, your typing is very accurate." He paused, then spoke. "Sincerely, Bai Lion." Jiang Fulai glanced over and saw where she had written up to. Their academic report contained many formulas, and Bai Lion, new to computers, was not familiar with the editor. She was studying the formulas. "The formula is here," Jiang Fulai couldn't help but point out. He bent over slightly. His cold white fingers tapped on the triangle tag. "You can set up a formula yourself. MC is the shortcut." His voice was calm and steady, gentle in tone. Once Bai Lion got the hang of the basic functions, her speed of writing formulas also picked up. Tang Ming opposite her felt a bit touched. If only he had 1/10 of this patience when teaching them, that would be great. It was only after Bai Lion got used to the software that Jiang Fulai turned to check on the problems faced by the 2 on the opposite side. Bai Lion's phone on the side lit up. It was from Dean Ma. "Dean Ma, the time is set, January 17th in the afternoon." He was talking about the time for the speech, the 17th, which didn't coincide with Su En's wedding nor Boyuan's academic presentation. It was just right for Bai Lion, not too rushed. Bai Jian, there was also an unread message from Chief Chen, Miss Bai, is Mr. Su's wedding on the 19th. Bai Lion, yes, Chief Chen. I can get back before the 19th, just in time when I'm free, may I attend? Chief Chen always had proper discretion. Su En actually wanted to bring it up to Chief Chen, but Chief Chen knew his attendance at the wedding was for someone else's sake. Thus the invitation should naturally come from Bai Lion and Jai Heng's side, not from the groom's side. Bai Lion had no objections. Jai Heng got along well with Chief Chen. The next day, at the Su family's home, Grandma Su didn't meddle in Su En's wedding arrangements, only instructing the butler to report to her if necessary. He booked 100 tables at Ling Ziyao. It was the first time Grandma Su heard about Su En's wedding plans and found it utterly ridiculous. He fully booked 3 floors of the banquet hall. Just hearing about the extravagance, considering Su En's arrangements, nearly 10 million yuan was spent. Were the people of the Jai family worth it? The butler kept his head down, not daring to speak. He must be out of his mind. Grandma Su pressed her brow. Have the invitations been sent to the Yu family? The butler quickly responded. They have been sent long ago, and I see the young master has also sent several invitations to the Qi family. The Qi family? Grandma Su scoffed. Letting the Qi family people in Xi'an attend their wedding. Jai Mulin really thinks she's that important. Meanwhile, on Su En's side, office. These days, he and Jai Mulin were busy with the wedding preparations while entertaining the Jai family members, and he also had to plan company affairs. President Su, at the conference table, Director Wang smiled and extended his hand. I wish you a happy marriage in advance. I'll be going abroad on the 19th to visit my aunt, so I won't be able to attend. Su En had announced half a year in advance that he would marry at the end of the year. The invitations had also been sent out 2 months early. If one really wanted to, they could manage to squeeze in a day. But Director Wang and the others had received their invitations early and had seen Jai Mulin in the company. She didn't have much of a background. Most of the people Su En invited were also from the grassroots level of the company. Director Wang and his peers knew that Madame Su didn't quite agree, and fewer clan members from the Su family were attending, so naturally, they were not willing to set aside an entire day specifically to attend the wedding banquet. For them, it was enough as long as the gift money was sent. Your matters are more important, Su En raised his hand, not surprised by this. President Su. After the others had left, Assistant Su spoke softly in his ear. Your uncle and Chief Qi and the others have prior engagements on the 19th, so only a few of the younger generation will come. The absence of those from the Su family was expected by Su En. It's fine. Su En, holding a file, walked toward the lounge. Jai Heng and the others were waiting for him in the lounge. Brother, Su Shujie, with a file in hand and dressed in a business suit, hurriedly approached Su En for a signature. Where are you off to? Su En took the file. Seeing the pen passed over by Assistant Su, he signed the document while walking towards the lounge. Going to see Uncle Jai. Su Shujie knew that Uncle Jai referred to Jai Heng. She raised an eyebrow. He's at the company. Yes, Su En finished signing, closed the document and handed it back to Su Shujie, then remembered something. You'll be free on the 19th, right? Of course. Su Shujie took the file away. Although she wasn't interested in the Jai family, she would definitely attend Su En's wedding. As she spoke, she entered the lounge with Su En. Su Shujie never wasted time on other matters and didn't think much of the Jai family. In her view, it remained to be seen whether Su En and Jai Mulin's marriage would last. However, since Jai Heng came to the company, Su Shujie decided to meet him as well. Inside the lounge, Jai Heng wore a black Chinese-style long jacket, holding a smoking pipe with bright and dim sparks of Mars inside. Shen Qing was carefully eating cake, while Jai Shaojun was on the phone. Su Shujie swept a glance across the room and then withdrew her gaze. Su En first introduced Su Shujie to them, and both parties greeted each other politely but distantly. Uncle, Su En treated Jai Heng with great respect. Assistant Su mentioned you didn't want to visit the old street. Su-en had specially arranged a sightseeing itinerary for Jai Heng and his party, even assigning Assistant Su for this task. Hearing that Su-en had instructed Assistant Su to take them shopping, Shujie couldn't help but take another look at Jai Heng and his party. Jai Heng slowly exhaled a ring of smoke and stood up. His eyes were deep and his tone was mild. "You and Assistant Su are busy, no need to bother with us. Today we're going fishing with Ziyao, just letting you know." Ziyao? Su-en was taken aback, unclear about which Ziyao it was. How could Jai Heng find fishing buddies everywhere? Shen Qing faced Su-en with more composure. Her hair hadn't grown much, and she was still wearing a velvet hat. "You and Mulin are busy, don't worry about us. These few days, we've been hanging out with Ziyao. When you're free, let's go fishing with them." Jai Sheajun didn't speak, merely nodding towards Su-en. "After the wedding, I'll join you for fishing. If you need anything, be sure to call me right away." Su-en hadn't fished much before, but after a few attempts with director Chen and others, he'd gotten the hang of it. But now he was too busy. With Madame Su not helping, he had to take care of many things personally and simply had no time. He personally escorted Jai Heng and the others down to the lobby. Shujie accompanied him. Once they had left, she then looked at Su-en. "Does the Jai family have acquaintances in Jiangjing?" She was a bit surprised. Su-en was even more surprised. Director Chen was still in Xiangcheng, and he didn't know who Jai Heng and his party were fishing with. Not sure. Shujie shrugged and pressed the elevator button. She didn't ask any further. She had merely asked casually, and naturally didn't think the Jai family would know anyone significant from Jiangjing. The two headed to the conference room together to catch another meeting. Su-en's mobile phone rang in his pocket. He pulled it out to look and quickly stopped to answer. Shujie was startled by Su-en's demeanor. She had never seen him treat any client this way. Who was on the other end? "Alien?" Su-en softened his voice, his face carrying a smile. "Alien?" Shujie didn't have much impression of the Jai family members. It took her a moment to recall that this must be the Bai Lion mentioned by Su Weniao. "Uncle Su," Bai Lion was very polite. "Do you still have an invitation? I need one." "Oh, not one too, I need two." Invitations? Su-en was taken aback, unsure why Bai Lion needed more invitations when he had sent out those for the Jai family members. "Of course, I'll bring them to you right now." "No need, just give them to my grandfather when you have time." "All right," Su-en felt a bit regretful. "I'll bring them to your grandfather tonight." The two finished talking and hung up the phone. On the other side of the phone, at the entrance to the Boyuan base, Jiang Fulai was wearing a cashmere coat, leaning slightly against a roadside withered tree, his figure tall and slim, his pale face showing faint expression. He exuded a strong presence, with even his tousled hair catching the cold frost of the wind. But those light eyes were staring at Bai Lion with a brooding look. Bai Lion. "I said two." "But you mentioned only one before," Jiang Fulai calmly pointed out her error. Wasn't it because only Director Chen had spoken to her about it? Jiang Fulai saw what she wanted to say. "Oh, I knew it." "Russell!" The black business car stopped beside them. The rear door automatically opened, revealing Shen Qing's face, who was excited. "Alien Ziyao." Jiang Fulai turned aloof in a second. He stood tall, wrapped in the chilly breeze, greeting the people inside the car politely, his eyes and brows revealing a sense of pride. "Bai Lion." 6. Only after Jiang Fulai got into the passenger seat did Shen Qing turn to Bai Lion. "Alien, aren't you coming ice fishing with us?" Bai Lion lazily waved her hand. "Next time, you guys go ahead. I haven't finished my report yet." The passenger seats, Jiang Fulai opened the car door, shaking his phone at Bai Lion, meaning he recorded it. Bai Lion reached to close the car door. Jiang Fulai didn't have her strength and was forced to settle down. Only then did Bai Lion smile at the driver. "Have a safe trip." Without looking at Jiang Fulai, the driver was startled by her action, too frightened to say much, only daring to steal glances at Bai Lion with his peripheral vision, and caught sight of Jiang Fulai's cold face, shivering again. Scary, so scary. The black car drove onto the main road. Shen Qing noticed the roads growing wider, the cars fewer, the buildings taller, and realized they were not heading to the outskirts. The center of Jiangjing City had restrictions, so there were far fewer private cars than other areas. "Where are we going?" Shen Qing asked with some confusion. She whispered her question to Jai Shaojun. Jai Shaojun didn't know either. Only Jai Heng sitting by the window knew. As he observed the route, and after seeing a particular building, he couldn't help but look up and study Jiang Fulai, who was in the passenger seat. 20 minutes later, the car gradually entered a cobblestone road section and finally stopped at an arched stone gate. It was obviously a back entrance. Shen Qing looked up and saw 3 bold and vigorous characters next to it, Jiayu Lake. Walking through the archway, a black-clad manager came to show them the way, leading them along the spacious concrete road flanked by pine trees and plum blossoms, with a faint scent trailing. Occasionally, sparrows flew by, and a few passers-by strolled along the road. Soon, they caught sight of the frozen lake, a spectacular scene Shen Qing had never witnessed before. Jiang Fulai let the manager take her around, while he went fishing with the other 2. Jai Heng and the others fished all day. They didn't return until after dinner. Jiang Fulai dropped them off at the Yunxiao Hotel entrance. "This is a card for Jiayu Lake. If you want to go ice fishing later on, just head straight there." Jiang Fulai courteously handed a black card to Jai Heng. Jai Heng, holding his pipe, glanced at Jiang Fulai. "Dad, why don't you take it?" Shen Qing took it for Jai Heng and then handed it to him. "Today's fishing spot was great." Jai Heng. Ice fishing had been a rare experience. Even Shen Qing, who disliked fishing, had patiently stayed the entire day. She carried a black bag. The fish inside were still jumping. She smiled broadly as she said goodbye to Jiang Fulai. They were staying on the 56th floor. While waiting for the elevator, they happened to meet Su En and others coming out from it. Su En had been upstairs checking the wedding venue setup and tasting the menu. Jai Mulan's face beamed with a smile. Beside her, members of the Su clan were speaking with Su En. "I've arranged that spot for you to look at with Su's assistant. Remember to give me a list when the time comes." He had gone up with Su En to see the table arrangements. With so many people, the seating would need to be carefully planned. Su En nodded his head. Looking up and seeing Jai Heng, his eyes lit up. "Uncle Jai, how was today's catch?" Jai Heng showed him the bag. Next to him, Jai Mulan was surprised. "You actually caught fish." "Yes, do you want to take a few home?" Jai Heng was not one for many words. However, they caught a lot of fish today, and Su En had booked them a suite with a kitchen included. Shen Qing said he would make fish soup for Bai Lion, so they brought the fish back with them. "Sure," Su En replied with a smile, "fish soup for breakfast tomorrow morning." By the side, a member of the clan glanced at the black bags in Jai Heng and his companion's hands and declined politely. "Thank you, but I don't like fish." Su En took a bag of fish from Jai Heng, his eyes lighting up. "Is it that easy to catch? Next time you have free time, you all should go fishing together. Ziyao gave you the card." Shen Qing said with a smile. "Most of those were caught by Ziyao, who hasn't fished much before. Can you believe it? One after another." Shen Qing was implying something about Jai Shaojun and Jai Heng. One looked up at the sky while the other lowered his head to look at the rod, neither saying a word. "Right." Su En quickly took out an invitation to help Jai Heng and another out of their awkward situation. "This is an invite that Alien asked me to bring you. Please keep it safe." Bai Lion had already mentioned this to Jai Heng, who took it from him. "I don't fish," said a person from the Su family clan, uninterested in fishing. He preferred to spend the time attending more gatherings to meet new people. "Mr. Su, I'll be leaving first then. You can find me if you need anything." With that, he left the hotel. Su En waved him off and continued to discuss ice fishing with Jai Heng. Jai Mulan was also indifferent to their fishing, merely watching on the side. She found it odd how well Su En got along with Jai Heng and the others. Su En escorted Jai Heng and the others to their room before returning with Jai Mulan. Boyuan base. Wang Su and Bai Lion were writing a report. Beside them, Pei Qin, who was discussing with Ling Ziyao, was very impressed. "Your ideas are so ahead of their time. Are you really the one who did the C role?" Everyone in the group knew that the heart of this paper relied on Yanning. His research ideas were very clear. Ling Ziyao. He was somewhat eager to see Bai Lion, All of these were ideas he had discussed and refined with her and had been validated by Jiang Fulei. How could they not be clear? Oh, right, Song Min suddenly remembered something important, looking at Wang Su. Has Ling Ziyao and his team finished the modeling? They were in a rush because the mathematical model required using MATLAB, so they collaborated with Ling Ziyao's group to use the same modeling. Wang Su had given them the data 2 days ago. Not yet. Wang Su lowered his head to check the time on his wristwatch, standing up. I'll go and ask their group. 5 days passed. Each group had a designated classroom, and Wang Su knew where Ling Ziyao's group was. Although Bai Lion typed slower than the average person, she managed to write half the report by comparing it with the data. The second half required the use of the model for simulation of results. She methodically clicked save and then took her phone with her to the restroom. Song Min frowned across from her, not at all confident in her report. The restroom was at the end of the corridor. You had to pass by the stairs. As Bai Lion had just walked a few steps, she heard voices coming from the stairs, slowing her pace and turning a corner, heading directly to the stairwell. At the staircase landing, Wang Su looked at Ling Ziyao in disbelief. Didn't you say we were responsible for the data and you for the model? Ling Ziyao frowned, righteously retorting to Wang Su. When did I ever say such a thing to you? But you clearly. Wang Su became frustrated. Wang Su was naive, sharing all the research ideas and details with Ling Ziyao. Wang classmate, this is Jianjing, not your Zecheng. A teammate of Ling Ziyao also watched Wang Su coldly. Go ask Dr. Gao if each model isn't supposed to be done by yourselves. How could Ling Ziyao have possibly agreed to such an absurd request of yours? The commotion also attracted the attention of those in the neighboring classroom. After listening to the whole story, the adjacent classroom's occupants frowned at Wang Su. Is this your first time at Boyuan? You foreigners, if you want to swindle Ling Ziyao's mathematical model, at least find a better excuse. The noise caught the attention of Pei Qin and the others as they emerged from the classroom. What's going on? Pei Qin approached next to Wang Su. They're saying they never agreed to collaborate with us. By now, Wang Su realized he was played by Ling Ziyao and his expression soured. As soon as he spoke, Song Min and the others were taken aback. What's all the noise about? Gao Jiachin came out of the temporary office and glanced over those present. Dr. Gao, Wang Su spotted a lifeline and took out his phone, showing the data to him. This is the data I sent to Ling Ziyao. He definitely agreed to. Gao Jiachin looked past him, disregarding his words, and proceeded to Ling Ziyao and his team. Your turn to explain. Ling Ziyao spoke succinctly and added, Dr. Gao, you know that my grandfather asked you to help me with my thesis topic. How could I possibly collaborate with them? Indeed, with Dr. Gao present, who would want to partner with Wang Su's group of C-level students. When Ling Ziyao said this, Wang Su's face turned pale. He opened his mouth, wanting to argue something, but someone lifted him by the collar from behind. It was a pair of pitch-black calm eyes, Bai Lions. You guys go back first, she said without looking at anyone, glancing at Wang Su as if to say he was useless. She went to the bathroom first, but Wang Su didn't want to go back. He felt he had let down every member of his group and wanted to explain himself to Ling Ziyao. Tang Ming wrapped his arm around his neck and led him back into the classroom. All right, let's go back first. You can't do anything by staying here. Let's go back and discuss, see if Sister Bayan has any other remedial methods. Remedial methods. Ling Ziyao, standing at the top of the stairs, heard their conversation and almost sneered. What remedial methods could you possibly have? For this academic report, it was rumored that academician Ma would attend. The Ling family had gone to great lengths, giving Gao Jiachin a bunch of research equipment to make Ling Ziyao's group perform better. Ling Ziyao knew he couldn't outdo the group consisting of Liang Wuyu and Su Jiu, but he could come in second. He didn't expect Wang Su, a person from the 4 major cities, to deliver such a smooth academic report. With a slight trickery, without the support of a model, Wang Su's group report would be significantly discounted. Bathroom. Bai Lion was washing her hands. Bai Lion turned off the faucet slowly and deliberately, and with a slight turn of her eyes, she saw the girl standing 2 meters behind her. Wearing black-framed glasses, her bangs slightly too long, speaking to Bai Lion was already the limit of her courage. "Thank you, Sue." Bai Lion recognized her, and the corners of her mouth lifted slightly. "But it's not necessary." She leisurely dried her fingers and threw the paper towel in the bin before leaving with her phone. In the bathroom, Shujie watched Bai Lion's retreating figure. She took out her phone and began typing frantically, "Brother, brother, brother. There's a super pretty girl at Boyuan Base. Where is she?" "Outside." As Bai Lion was walking towards the classroom, she texted Hewen. Hewen responded quickly. "Hewen, this model, not just for the academic report, you could use it for papers as well." Although she hadn't been involved in the details of the academic report, she had been writing reports and discussing them with Ling Ziyao, so naturally, she knew what kind of model Ling Ziyao had asked Wang Su to make. However, compared to the model she and Hewen had, the predictive fluctuation model that Wang Su's group was going to make was too rudimentary. Bai Lion hadn't initially thought about using the model she developed with Hewen, but now there wasn't enough time to create a new one. Once she was sure it could be used, Bai Lion felt at ease. At the classroom door, Ning Ziyao was evidently informed and was waiting for Bai Lion. "They did it on purpose." "I know," Bai Lion replied languidly, her presence sharp and oppressive. She leisurely used her phone to push open the classroom door. "But it's no big deal." If Jiang Fulai had been there, he would have marveled at how astute Ling Ziyao was. To choose anyone else but Bai Lion out of so many people was a mistake. A genius like Hewen, whose papers even academician Jiang Fulai and Ma had reviewed, even if it was just a minor model, was also a product of Bai Lion's and Hewen's time and research. Placing it here was frankly bullying.